have a lot to talk about in today's recap. Carlos Correa, he just completely forgot about this one new little rule called the pitch clock. It was kind of funny to watch. We have an update on Joe Musgrove, Tyler Glasnow, and Brendan Rodgers. All of them are going to be missing some time with injuries, which is sad to say. And also, I just want to mention Jarred Kelenic. He looks incredible. He might have figured it out. So if you're a Mariners fan, it could be a good 2023. Now, in yesterday's recap, we talked about Gavin Lux tearing his ACL. We talked about Seiya Suzuki and the fact that he's going to be missing some time with an oblique strain. And the same for Tyler Glasnow. Both Seiya and Tyler are going to be missing the next 6 to 8 weeks because of that oblique strain. And at this point, I just feel bad for Tyler Glasnow, whether it's him recovering from Tommy John, whether it's him recovering from any ailment that he has suffered. Being 6'7", 6'8", and throwing 102 miles an hour, I feel like the body just is not meant to do that consistently, and it shows because he is repeatedly injured. That's probably why he's not going to get paid by the Rays. He's going to get shipped out by the trade deadline, because in his entire career, he has only thrown 100 innings one single time. He has all the talent in the world, but a lot of people have been saying when it comes to Tyler Glasnow, the best ability is availability. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it does suck to say, but I might be on that side. So my final verdict on Tyler Glasnow, I think that he's gonna come back healthy. I think that he's gonna shred Major League Baseball, but because of that, the Rays, they'll probably flip him before the deadline. That's just my opinion though. Another injury I do wanna talk about, Joe Musgrove. He dropped a weight on his big toe. I don't know if it was a 30-pound dumbbell or what, but it was heavy enough to actually fracture his big toe. I mean, we've all stubbed our toes and everything like that. When you are in a hotel room and the lights are off and you stub it, it doesn't feel great. So imagine fracturing it via a weight and a dumbbell. So there is no timetable for his return. This is coming from the manager, Bob Melvin. Toes are weird because when they break, there's not really much that you can do but put it in a cast and just hope it gets better quick. Now, if you're a Padres fan, let me try and make it up to you real quick. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to roll this clip of Nelson Cruz hitting a home run.
Driven to deep left field. Back goes Clint Frazier, and that ball is gone.
Oh, boy! Yeah!
Dude, if the Padres get prime Nelson Cruz along with getting back Fernando Tatis after adding Xander Bogaerts, that's not fair. All right, let's talk about a pretty fun matchup. We have Andrew Painter versus Carlos Correa, and you can see that Correa, he stepped out. He was kind of confused because he knew that he had to get back in the batter's box. He just completely forgot there was a pitch clock. Now, I do want to talk about Andrew Painter. He's 19 years old, about to be 20, one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. In my opinion, he's going to be one of the young guys that actually does enough this spring training to make the opening day roster. I feel like Andrew Painter, Anthony Volpe, Oswald Peraza, they're playing so well, it's kind of hard to keep them out of the big leagues. Now, staying with players who have played so well that they might be forcing the team to actually give them a spot. I think it's a 26-man roster. I can't remember exactly what it is on opening day, but Ronnie Mauricio of the Mets, he hit his 3rd home run. This kid is incredible. Also in that same game, Francisco Lindor went yard, Pete Alonso went yard, so maybe it was just one of those spring training games where it turned into a personal home run derby. I mean, say what you want about whether or not spring training is something that you can put a lot of faith into or not, but Ronnie Mauricio, he's making some noise, as well as a plethora of other young guys across the league that could be making headway to an opening day spot, and it's actually a lot of fun to watch. It feels like just yesterday, Kris Bryant was making his debut after the Cubs were manipulating his service time and everything like that. He won an MVP, he won a World Series, and now that he's on the Rockies, it just doesn't seem real. Like every time I see Kris Bryant in that purple uniform, it almost seems like the simulation is broken. It's not supposed to happen, but he is looking amazing so far through spring training. That was his 2nd home run, but I really wanted to show this because it's a perfect segue, unfortunately, into our next topic. Brendan Rodgers, who kind of broke out in 2022 with the glove. He won a gold glove at second base. Offensively, you could say he was decent. I mean, he did have a 96 OPS plus or something like that. He had 46 extra base hits, but in my opinion, he was on the track of being even better, just like Gavin Lux going into 2023. But Gavin Lux, he tore the ACL. Brendan Rodgers, he dislocated his shoulder, and the reports are that surgery is going to be required, and he probably will be missing all of 2023, which really sucks. Because again, I'm trying to give teams like the Rockies or the A's or the Pirates some benefit of the doubt, where I can say, even though they're going to stink in 2023, they never spend money, they have prospects and players that are on the rise that should be pretty good in the next few years. And that means that if the Rockies and the Pirates, if they spend a little bit of money in 2023 and then more in 2024, they'll finally be on schedule to end this rebuild. But the Rockies, they can't catch a break. And it's just one of those things where if you're a Rockies fan, what else is next? What's going to happen? Is Kris Bryant going to request a trade or something? I mean, again, if you're a Rockies fan, everything that could go wrong usually does. We're going to talk a lot about the Yankees in tomorrow's recap because as I'm recording, Anthony Volpe hit another home run. Aaron Boone is running his mouth about IKF playing outfield. I don't understand understand that. But Harrison Bader, as you just saw, he showed all the tools in yesterday's game. He had a triple, and then later on in the game, he was flexing that Gold Glove talent in center field. If he can stay healthy and play 130 to 140 games, if the Yankees actually do the smart thing and call up Anthony Volpe to play third base and Oswald Peraza to play shortstop, that IKF and Donaldson trade is the worst thing that has happened to the Yankees in quite some time. Brian Cashman will not allow his ego to take a backseat. Aaron Boone is defending Brian Cashman as if Brian Cashman has nudes on Aaron Boone, or maybe IKF knows something about Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone that we don't know. I mean, there could be some nefarious things happening, but the fact that IKF is one of the most beloved players in Yankees front office history, I don't get it. He's not good. I'm not even a Yankees fan and I'm upset. Like, I'd be so annoyed if I just kept on hearing IKF. He's not that good. Give it to Anthony Volpe, give it to the young guys, and turn the page. Come on. Before we talk about Jarred Kelenic and J-Rod going back to back, I do want to show this clip of Mookie Betts going yard off of his former teammate Andrew Heaney. I know it's spring training, but for me, if you're a Rangers fan, please let me know in the comments. Do you think that Andrew Heaney is going to be someone that you can trust going forward? For me, I mean, I have so much PTSD from seeing him stink it up with the Angels and also when he went to the Yankees. I mean, he was just the human equivalent of batting practice, and I can't get that out of my head. I know that he was insane with the Dodgers. Hopefully he can keep it up, but that home run right there from Mookie, I don't know, maybe bad things to come. Then again, it's spring training. Julio Rodriguez and Jarred Kelenic, they went back to back, and I have been waiting a long time to say that. Again, it's spring training. Take it with a grain of salt. But Jarred Kelenic, he almost has this brand new hitch in his swing where he locks and loads his arms right before he's about to swing. Now, if you're a Mariners fan, maybe he's always been doing this, but his stance and approach does look a little bit different, and it's working very well. If Kelenic can actually be that guy in 2023, a former top 10 prospect in baseball, traded for, I think it was Edwin Diaz and Robinson Cano. I can't remember the exact trade, but he was supposed to be the next Grady Sizemore, and ever since then, he's really stunk. But any chance I have to show a clip of J-Rod, I'm gonna do that because I love J-Rod so much. One other guy I do want to talk about, Brendan Donovan. He changed his stance and approach just like Jarred Kelenic. Now, Donovan, he is one of the best contact hitters in baseball, so he can afford to lose that contact for some power. So his new stance is power centric, so he's gonna go for more home runs. I mean, he's a Gold Glover. He's gonna get on base. Brendan Donovan, one of the more under talked about players in baseball. And one other guy who has been talked about a lot, Joe Adell. He's kind of like on the other side of the spectrum. Joe Adell was highly touted. He hasn't performed well, but Mike Trout came out and said that Adell has been in the weight room and in the outfield working on his outfield skills pretty much since the season ended, which is great to hear because Adell and his defense, it's all-time bad. But he has the tools and I think the mental fortitude to be a productive big league player, and the fact that he doesn't have a job right now, there's no room at the end for Joe Adell in the Angels outfield. So the fact that he's been kind of cast astray, maybe that actually is good for him. And then I do want to show this random clip of Samad Taylor. If you've never heard of that name, I mean, join the club. I hadn't either, but I thought it was a lot of fun to show off his hustle. The fact that he stole home. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you make a high school team. That is how you walk onto a college team or you have a spot on opening day because you're just hustling more than everyone. I wanted to show that. But that pretty much wraps up today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, we are going to be talking about the Yankees and IKF tomorrow, so make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned for that. And also, if you guys are going to any spring training games or preparing for the big league season, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off all tickets and enjoy the highlights.
I didn't throw many sinkers into this guy. There he is.
Right on cue. I can tell you're smiling all the way from here watching that.
Lefty sends one home, and Hayward hits one high and deep to right field. Jason Hayward with a solo shot.